We are moving to next paragraph, that is Awadh was one of the last territories to be annexed with whom with the East India Company. In 1801, the subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh, and in 1856 it was taken over. Governor General Dalhousie declared that the territory was being misgoverned and the British rule was needed to ensure proper administration. Means the subsidiary alliance means what it is. They will provide security. They will provide military for the to keep the place secure. And what the Awadh people want to do, they want to give revenue to the British people. According to that, that is started in 1801, and after 55 years they taken it back. Who taken it back? British government. What is the reason for that? They said like that. What they said, and there it is misgovernment. Government is happening. The governance they are not doing properly. The people who taken the subsidiary alliance as a king, he is not doing the administration properly. So British people, they are directly going to do the administration to ensure the proper administration. And the company even began to plan how to bring the Mughal dynasty to an end. For what purpose they are doing all these things? Because when they came, British people came that time, Mughal dynasty was ruling here all over India. We have seen that one in 7th standard. Okay, then they want to stop it. Who want to stop? British company, they want to stop it, make an end of the Mughal emperor. Then the name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company. Then company also started to make the coins, minting the coin. Then what they done, they slowly started to remove the name of the king from the which coins they are making. There was one of the Nawab in West Bengal starting as a getting the power of only 3 small village, and they are developing like anything. Slowly they are removing, means started to use king's power also. Then in 1849, Governor General Dalhousie announced that after the death of the Bahadur Shah Zafar, the family of the king would be shifted out of the Red Fort and given another place in Delhi to reside. Means the who started to decide where the king and his family want to live, that is Governor General. Then what Dalhousie, Lord Dalhousie saying like that, after the death of the present king, then they want to shift their house. Red Fort was the palace of the Mughal king, and they are going to be shifted to in other area of Delhi to reside over there. In 1856, Governor General Canning decided that Bahadur Shah Zafar would be the last Mughal king. Who decided? Governor General, not the Mughal family or those who was under the Mughal king, the emperor. They never decided. The Governor General, East India Company Governor General, they are deciding in 1856. That is the same time when they taken the Awadh power in their hand. And they are deciding like that Bahadur should be the last king in the Mughal dynasty. After his death, none of his descendants would be recognized as king. They would just be called prince. They are going to call the son of the Bahadur like just a prince. They won't become the king. Like that, who decided? In 1856, Governor Canning, he decided. So how it is coming from East India Mughal emperor, and how it is reaching into the hands of the British people or East India Company, and how they this is the condition, reasons why the people starting the what we can say revolution or conflict against or fight against British people. So first is the king and the Nawabs, they are losing their power. So what they are going to, they are just becoming the princes, they can't become the kings. Then next one, the peasants and the shipais. Already peasants we know who are they, and shipais, that also we said, that is the peons or the least grade clerks of the East India Company office. In the countryside, peasants and zemindars resented in the high taxes and rigid method of revenue collection. What was the method of revenue collection? It was compulsory. They want to give, if the harvest was good or bad. If they are getting 100 rupees, the collection amount it is 100 rupees. They are not at all getting that 100 rupees. They got only 60 rupees, 70 rupees. Then also they want to give that 100 rupees. That was the rule. Then not only peasants as well as the zemindars, both of them are getting the problem because of the high tax, and in the same timing what the British company given, in the same time they want to give the tax. That was the condition. Many failed to pay back their loans to the money lenders, gradually lost the land, and they had tilled for generations. And because of that one, the policy of the British, that's why they taken money from the money lenders. And what it happened, they lost their land because of the money. They was not able to pay it back. Was not able to pay it back slowly. That's why the money lenders, they started to take the land, and that they was tilling, or they was using for generations. Not only one generation, maybe when the Mughal emperor became the emperor, that time onwards, means more than 200 years, means minimum 4 generations they used the same land. And Indian Shipais in the employee of the company also had reasons for discontent. Discontent means dissatisfaction. They are not satisfied. Why? The Shipais also, they was not who they are employing. They are the people who is working in the East Indian Company offices. They were unhappy about their pay. First, they are not happy with their payment, then allowances, then conditions of the services. They was getting very poor condition to service, and they are getting compulsion to complete their work. And some of the new rules, moreover, violated their religious sensibilities and beliefs. What are the new rules made by the British people or East India Company, that the people felt like that it is totally against to their religious sensibilities and beliefs? Did you know that this is in those days many people in the country believed that if they cross the sea, they would lose their religion and caste. It means the people there was getting the compulsion to move from India to Africa or China or Sri Lanka for work. And for that purpose they was taking the people compulsory as a means they will give false information about the working area, and the compulsory they was taking the people for plantation work and other things. So they want to cross the sea to reach that area. And what was the people's belief, that if they are crossing the sea, and they will lose their religion as well as their caste. So when in 1824 the Shipai were told to go to Burma by the sea route to fight for the company. For what purpose the Shipais got the duty? To fight for the company. Where they want to go? They want to go to Burma. And how they want to go? Burma means the present Myanmar. And how they want to go? They want to go by sea route. So that is totally against the religious beliefs or the belief or custom of India. They refused to follow the order, though they agreed to go by the land route. If they are ready to send them in by land route, they are ready to go, but they are not ready to go by sea route. And they were severely punished. Those who refused to go by sea route, they got severe punishment. And since the issue did not die down in 56, the company passed a new law which stated that every new person who took up employment in the company's army had to agree to serve overseas if required. Means the companies, when they are coming to joining in East India Company army, that time itself they are taking the agreement from the people. If the company is sending getting the chance to send them outside, or like that one condition is coming there, then they should go. Means those who are coming as a new job seeker, they should agree with that, then only they will get job. That was the condition. Then Shipai also reacted to what was happening in the countryside. Many of them were peasants and had families living in the village. And the Sipais means they are coming from countryside. Those who are having less work or income, that people they are coming and joining with this British army for getting better income. And they were basically peasants, as well as their family was living in the village. So the anger of the peasants quickly spread among the Sipais. Because they already peasants was disagree with the tax and the revenue collection method. So that is getting that pulse is getting to the Sipais, because they also not satisfied with their payment and other thing. So very easily they are getting the that pulse of the peasants, or peasants also getting the pulse of the Sipai. So they are starting to work together. Then next one, response to the to reforms. The British believed that Indian society had to be reformed. Who is saying like that? Indians should be reformed? British, they are believing like that. Laws were passed to stop practice of sati and to encourage remarriage of widow. They are starting to make their own law to stop sati. Sati means what we know already, in the time of death of husband, in the husband's fire itself, wife also want to die, or if she is not ready to do that one, village people or the relatives, they will compel them forcefully. They will take that lady to fire, or she want to shave her head and want to wear white clothes. She can't come out of the house, like that. Many rules was there if she is not ready to die. And at the same time, the next problem, the widows, the husband died, like that, ladies can't marry. So the British government, they made law for that, the making the remarriage act. English language education was actively promoted. The next reformation from British government, that is the English language study. Then 1830, the company allowed Christian missionaries to function freely in its domain and even on land and property. Then the British government is giving them permission to the Christian missionaries to start to function freely. A hospital or school, like that, many things they are giving permission, and they can own the land as well as property here in India. In 1850, a new law was passed to make conversion to Christianity easier. Then British government making next step, that is they are making the new law to make the people to easier to Christianity. This law allowed an Indian who had converted to Christianity to inherit the property of his ancestors. In that law, they are making like that, even though he was Muslim or Hindu or any other religion, religious person and from religious family, and he is one person is converting to Christianity, but he will get the property of their parents. Before, Indian situation was not like that, so they made like that law. Many Indians began to feel that the British were destroying their religion, their social custom and their traditional life. Why the people can't understand all these things? Because they are believing the religion means we can't change our religion. If somebody is changing their religion, they should go out of their society, like that. Then social customs, sati and widow marriage and other things, that also Indians can't understand, because this is our social custom. And traditions, how we should give our parents property, and like that, some traditional rules was here that also started to violate. So the people, when the British people thought like that, all these types of reform should be there in India, and ordinary people was not ready to accept that religious practice, means the reform things. Then there were the course other Indians who wanted to change existing social practice, that we will read Raja Ram Mohan Roy, like that, people how they started to think and why they started to think, how what was the impact and how they are convincing Indians, like that things we will study in 7th chapter. Okay, we will continue in next video.